Hey, how's it going, YouTube? How y'all doing today? Got a real foggy morning over here today. These cattle, they're standing around up here asking for grain. Why they decided to do this again, who knows? They usually, maybe it's because it's so foggy that it's startled them or something. But they're usually grazing right now, but it's okay. These cattle, I remember looking at them yesterday evening, and I was like, man, these cattle have gotten big. I got some, these animals have definitely grown, put on a lot of size. These cattle, well, okay, so I'm at a point now where if I had to, I could actually sell hand-pick animals here. I would say on more than half of these animals, if I took them to market, I would make a net profit. Like an animal, so I'm gonna be giving, I think this one, okay, so what happened was a few days ago, I was talking to my neighbor. My neighbor told me that if I would like to, he has about 5 acres back there. It's just brush, and he told me that if I would like to, that I could just plant hay back there, and I could just take it. I could just take the hay that I grow from his 5 acres right next door to me, and so that's a tremendously good deal. So of course I said yes. And well, I really thought about it, and I was like, you know what, I could feed these animals to processing weight with 15 acres, 12 to 15 acres of good silage. I can feed 40 animals to 1,000 pounds, 1,200 pounds with zero issue. And so I figured, well, in return, if I'm going to feed these animals to processing weight, I'd be more than happy to give my neighbor one of these cattle. And so I was really thinking about it, and I was like, you know what? This is one of my best cattle right here. He's a good one. Well, I was thinking about what are my real good animals. He's a good one right there. That Hereford cross right there. These Hereford crosses, they're known for good meat. They're known. This is one of them. I got a few animals that I was like, well, that's the 3 that I would choose from. But I got this one over here too. He's a good animal. He looks like he's gonna have a good mass on him. But I'm gonna give my neighbor, but he's a little bit smaller than the other 3, so it's gonna take him a few more months to be ready. But I figured, well, my neighbor can have one of these animals, and he can have it processed and have meat, a lot of meat. And so yep, I got so that happened. I'll be farming my neighbor's property as well, right next door to me. So I'll have an extra about 5 acres of hay. This is a good animal too right here, but he's a bit younger than the rest of them, so he's gonna take a little while. He's kind of short. He's kind of short, and I have a heifer here who's kind of short too. And so I'm wondering if they're just miniatures, like if they're just the small cattle. I got a heifer back there. She's kind of short too. She's just a little bit shorter than the rest of them. And so, but the meat's gonna be just as good on all of them. So yep. So that happened. Yeah, I got so now I have about 15 acres that I can farm to produce silage on to feed these cattle with. That means I have enough silage now. I have enough resources now to be taking these cattle to processing weight. At this moment in time, if I really needed capital, I have animals that I could take to market to make a profit on. Like if I really was like, oh my gosh, I need money, in all honesty, I would take these red steers first. So that one, and then there's 4 of them, but I would take them to market first as a group. And then well, I was probably her too. She'd be a good animal to take to market. I'd make good money. That white Charolais back there, I could take her to market. But I have more than half of these animals at this point. They've put on so much weight that I could, if I took them to market, I would make money on them. And I've barely spent any money these past 2 months. I think I was running my budget, and these animals, maybe I've spent something like $350 a month or something like that. It's costing me about $350 a month to raise these animals because I'm growing the grass here myself. This is one of the red steers too. But you know, they got good hay bellies on them. They got pasture gut. I call it pasture gut because when this grass starts growing in, then these animals get to eat it, free choice. They get this big old belly on them, and it happens when they're on grass. And when that happens, they put on size. They put on size quickly. And so I have animals. See, this guy's rubbing up on me, but I got he wants his neck scratched. But these animals here, they yeah, I have animals here that I could take to market. If I was like, man, I really need capital more than anything else right now, I could take animals to market for a profit at this point. But yeah, we'll have to see. We'll have to see. It's good to have that that opportunity in my well, like if I was well, it's good to just be able to do that. Just being like, oh man, if I really needed money, I could make a profit here just by taking a few animals to market. It's good to be able to do that because sometimes I do need capital, and so if I need capital, I can just yep, I can just take these animals to market. But yep, I'll be it's supposed to rain a whole lot this next week. It's still too cold to plant Sudan grass. I know that it may well, okay, so Sudan grass, it's a warm season grass. And so if I was gonna plant Sudan grass, the soil temperature needs to be 65 or higher, or the germination rate just falls off of a cliff. And so realistically, it needs to be like 80-90 degrees in the afternoon to plant Sudan grass. So right now what I'm trying to figure out is what am I gonna do? How am I going to so Sudan grass, for me to grow Sudan grass, for me to have something grow something for these animals to eat, it's gonna take me a few maybe 2 months to after planting for these animals to have something to eat. So yep, I'm like, man, what am I gonna do? If I plow this whole field up, then I have to start feeding these animals. If I have to start feeding these animals again, a complete replacement diet, so I'll have to give them forage as well as grain. Animals at this size, it's gonna cost a lot of money. Oh, it's gonna cost a lot of money. I would say it's gonna cost like $1,500 a month. So that'd be like $3 grand. And yep, I don't know if that's a good investment of capital. Well, okay, well, yep, I'll have to think about what I'm gonna do. But yeah, if I was gonna feed these animals a complete replacement diet, that's gonna cost me a lot of money. And so well, I mean, I'm still working these. I'm still working through these things. Just staying about it, staying on top of it, keeping track of things. So yeah, my big plan right now for silage is that I'm gonna plant this silage first. Then when this silage has grown in, once this silage looks like it's about 2 weeks from being ready to harvest, 2-3 weeks ready from being ready to harvest, I'm going to bring in silage equipment just to minimize my risk. Because it's like, man, what if I plant silage, then the crop goes to scrap. Then I'm sitting on a whole bunch of silage equipment that I have nothing to do with. And so granted that the chances of that happening are very, 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 very slim. But well, in all honesty, in terms of just financial sense, it's like, why would I bring in the equipment early? Like, what am I gonna do? Just look at it, you know? I'm gonna have to start paying for it the moment it gets here because I'll be financing it. And so my monthly payments on it will start the moment I bring it in. And so in my mind, I'm just like, why would I bring the equipment in early, start paying for it, and then just sit on it for 2 months while my silage grows? And so I was like, you know what, instead of that, I'm just gonna hold on to the capital. I'm going to drill the silage into the field first. And then when the silage looks like it's about 2-3 weeks ready from being harvested, I'll bring in the silage equipment then. Because silage, April, May, I'll be harvesting silage sometime in May. So right now it's March, April, May. So it's still 2 months away. And so yeah, maybe a little bit longer, depending on weather conditions. I'd like to be planting Sudan grass sometime in April. So it may be a late May when I get to harvest silage. So that's gonna be about could be about 2.5 months away. And so yep, I need good ground conditions to be able to plow this soil, to be able to work this soil. I need good ground conditions. It needs to be somewhat dry. The soil needs to be warm, and then I also need to figure out what I'm going to do in terms of feeding these cattle while the soil has been plowed up. And then what am I going to do with these cattle in terms of keeping them off of the Sudan grass until yep, so I can grow for hay. This is a lot going on. It's okay though. I'm just keeping track of things, and I'm doing good. I just gotta stay about it. But yeah, my big thing for this thing, for all this right now, well, okay, so well, my bigger goal, one of my bigger goals, is to use this cash flow that I produce with these assets that I have right now to pay for the assets themselves. So this silage equipment, I'm going to use the money that I make from the silage equipment to pay for the silage equipment. I'm going to finance it, and then I'm going to pay for it with the money that I make from the silage equipment. And then once the equipment is paid for, I'm going to buy more land. That's the bigger goal. And so so one of my big things right now with equipment is that I need to buy equipment that I can use on a bigger property. I'm looking to go into about 50-100 acres, and so I need to buy equipment that is good for 50 to 100 acres. Like that tractor, the reason I bought a tractor that large is because I can use it on a 50 to 100 acre field. I can plow 100 acres with a tractor like this in a matter of hours. And so that was my big reason for getting a tractor this large. And so when I buy silage equipment, okay, so the thing about silage equipment, the thing about this this tractor is that this tractor, trying to find somebody who's gonna buy it, is almost non-existent. I mean, the market for these tractors is practically, so I'm going to be trying to sell a huge tractor is almost, it's like I mean, good luck with that. The market demand for huge tractors like this is practically zero. I mean, like who in all honesty is looking to buy a dually tractor in reality? A 50-year-old dually tractor. I mean, you know. And it's the same thing with hay equipment, with balers. Somebody who's looking to buy a round baler, I mean, trying to sell a used round baler, I mean, unless it's being sold for extremely cheap in good condition, it just ain't gonna happen. And so, yep, well, yep. So my big whole thing is that I need to buy equipment that works. I need to maintain it well, and then I need to buy equipment that I can take to a larger property. Because in all honesty, if I buy it, I'll probably have to own it forever. I'll probably have to own it until it's scrap metal. And so the big idea would be that the things that I buy, the assets that I buy, would need to be able to produce a positive return. And so I need to buy properly functioning equipment, and I need to maintain it well. So Yep, this tractor, maybe I could have filed for a government grant, and then I can get a new tractor. I could scrap this tractor, then get a new tractor for it. But the silage equipment, the baling equipment, is going to be yep. The chances of me selling it, very, 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 very low. I mean, it just ain't really gonna happen. And so, yep. I'm still looking for equipment. I'm gonna plant the silage first, and then when the silage looks like it's about ready to harvest, I need to that's when I'm going to be bringing in the equipment for silage. And so well, I still got a few things that I gotta figure out. Like I need to figure out how much of what fertilizer I'm gonna put on this field this year. I do all that via saturation curves and data that I find online, but I'll go through that, I guess. I got to go through that myself here pretty soon to figure, well, to just calculate how much fertilizer am I going to put down, and then I have to yeah, I got to make some saturation curves for fertilizer. I got to find some silage equipment, some good silage equipment. I got to get this field plowed and then drilled. I also got to figure out how much seeding density I'm going to put in for the Sudan grass. Because this Sudan grass, well, if I'm chopping it for silage, probably less important in terms of seed density. I could probably push that seed density higher or lower. But the density of the seed is what so if a field of Sudan grass gets planted a little bit thicker, if it gets planted with higher seed density, the Sudan grass will grow in with a thinner stem, and if it grows in with a thinner stem, it's easier for these animals to digest. Planting it at a higher density will also increase the amount of fertilizer that the field needs, as well as water. And water is something that I'll be getting from just the weather. So I have zero irrigation here as of right now, and so I need to think about that as well. Because if I plant it too thick, the plants will take up too much water. They'll take up too much fertilizer, and then yields will be affected. These plants could be more susceptible to prussic acid poisoning, or the development of prussic acid, because they would undergo drought situations faster. But if I plant it too thin, the stalks will come in too thick, and the biomass per acre will drop too. So I need to think about how thick I'm gonna drill this seed. Yeah, I got a few things that I need to do, but I need to do that as well. I got about 2 weeks here. I would say about 2 to 4 weeks here before it's time to plant Sudan grass, depending on weather conditions. I need to figure out what I'm gonna do in terms of feeding these cattle for a few weeks, for a couple months, excuse me, while that Sudan grass grows into a point that I'm able to feed these cattle with it. And then I need to find equipment. So those are I guess just a few big things going on this week that I need to get done. But everyone looking good. These cattle are looking good. They're looking big. They're looking yeah, got good looking cattle. That's it for me today, YouTube. Y'all have a good one.